Well, that was London, that the Rinpoche school in Rosmarbe, that was Logi Visitor, Samarbe. 2005, Man Paul.
Chenrezig,
Dari Geneva, Dari Gene, Dari Genangabaro, Pigi Logi to see what is.
So today we'll be concluding the teaching that we've been giving on Atisha's lamp for the path to enlightenment. And this teaching began last year, May 5th, 2005. So this teaching's lasted in an entire year. So today is the concluding day of this teaching.
Dan 해망아서 되는 라렌치무 고지도 바로 대깔 커버에서 라렌치무 도무도스 단 아서 라렌 돌마 차상화지 로로 비다부터 시다시 도마르데 차상화지 도토바도 가본도 지수이라요스
부타포 트리투마스
당망아서 라렌치무 트리로 라렌치무 깔 커버도 트리토마송스 다 된고들 레바 이상은 아서 라렌 고조네 안데네마 that rules that Rinpoche school in Juarez.
That's
what the Tasha put up the rayon and Meshigames in a Narojisu around those, which has not chiva the hours.
So previously we tried to start, and we wanted to start a teaching on the great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment by Lama Tsongkhapa. And we had several teachings, but we were unable to conclude this. It was quite difficult because it's a lengthy teaching. But we were able to conclude this teaching on the lamp for the path to enlightenment by the great Lord Atisha. So this is something that we have been able to conclude. So whether or not it was a solid teaching, I am not certain. But I do rejoice in the fact that we've been able to go through this teaching in its entirety. So I rejoice in this fact that we have had conclusion. We have come to a conclusion.
Adishag London, the Shadaki, the Pasha Union J, then Julia Shadak Jashaburis, Adishag London, and the Pasha Union J, and the Sajig Dong, TJ Time, Samatan duty orders, Marbe.
So Atisha's text is quite small, but it contains in an abbreviated format a vast amount of the teachings, or a vast amount of scriptural information. It contains all of the teachings in the sutra tradition, all of the teachings in the tantric tradition, all of the teachings of the lesser vehicle, all of the teachings of the great vehicle. So this small teaching, this small text, condenses all of these teachings, or all of this vast amount of teaching, all of these vast amounts of teachings.
Ane jagaga nalenta kheba sugiten bachaden deba mongo yogaris the thaje ki tenda garu jinten yogaris marbe adisha.
So in Namgyal Monastery there were quite a number of commentaries which were written on the Buddhist pronouncements, and these commentaries are also the meanings contained within these commentaries are also contained in this condensed text, the Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment.
다 란드 데네 산지기 추다 자가기 케바도스기 제바도스 지셰야기 데미나므르스 키나므르스 란드 디아베시소나 도스가 레라베시고서스.
So the Atisha's lamp for the path to enlightenment is very similar to a key that unlocks the door to the Indian Pandit's works and the Buddhist pronouncements or the Buddhist teachings. So the lamp for the path to enlightenment is a key.
다 란드 놀을 다 제부 종문디 쳔보 어디서 기도나 용도 거래서 말베.
So the meaning of this lamp for the path to enlightenment the meaning of this is the stages of the path for beings of small capacity, medium capacity, and great capacity.
다 제부 종어도 도모에 거서 는 사지가 어디서 온도 거래서 다 가르쳐 거래. 다드네 Then I saw only just on the Gabriel Maris, Nasung Joaka, Tashi Karuari, Melite, Madan Halicheva in a Jugar Dugores, and a Madan Halichena also Gabriel Harris, the Jay Judkander and a Chivaina, or tea nets with the Jebu Chungo, the Tumun Cosun Guares, Marba, take Tanda Garesana, and a conscious on the Johnson to Gune, conscious on the Johnson to Gune, and the Mogujubun Sweeting Song. 디발 샤나야부 제게나 내손을 제게 말에 하다말 제게 던룰도 그래서 중국 그서 어디서 말이야.
So the first stage, teachings that are shared in common with beings of small capacity, is as follows. A being who recognizes the sufferings of the lower realms and wishes to not have to have rebirth into the lower realms because he or she desires a rebirth in the higher realms of the gods and humans, requires this type of practitioner to find a method that will allow him or her to achieve the result of a higher realm rebirth. So the method that allows a practitioner to achieve rebirth into the gods and the human realms can be found in the teachings that are shared in common with beings of small capacity. And the method that the practitioner utilizes in order to achieve this goal is a stable foundation in refuge in the three jewels, or going for refuge in the three jewels. Ethics, an abandonment of the 10 non-virtuous deeds, the 10 non-virtuous actions, and an acknowledgement of downfalls or confession of one's downfalls. So these practices combined are found in the teachings for beings of small capacity, or teachings that are shared in common with beings of small capacity. And these will allow one to achieve rebirth in the higher realms.
와지 다드네 가서 내손을 타네 던도 하다 멀리 집에 이나 하다 멀리 동에 요아르스 동에 동에 차반주 동에라서 뭐 요아레 도술 타네 아니 타발로야기 아니 타발로야기 아니 라데 제분딘도 도무 링도 도무 거서 용고아레스 데 라드 가리 라 가르송 요아레스나 아니 라비 주딘지 라바다 라비 띵은지 라바다 라비 셔러지 라바송 두송거레스 라비 라바송부터 라바이나 안에 레던 요모바 보네 레버레이션 타벌도 두그레스 타비랑 송고서레스.
So if one recognizes not only the suffering of the lower realms, but also recognizes that the gods and humans also have suffering, if he or she recognizes that they have to still endure the suffering of change, and the pervasive compounded suffering, if the practitioner that recognizes these sufferings and wishes to definitely get out of all 6 realms of cyclic existence, is a practitioner of medium capacity who practices teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. So this type of being wishes to achieve liberation from cyclic existence. The practitioner of medium capacity arrives at the liberation by practicing the 3 highest higher trainings. So these are the 3 highest higher trainings in ethics, the 3 highest higher trainings in concentration, and the 3 highest higher trainings in wisdom. So these highest higher trainings become the pathways to liberation for the being of medium capacity. So this is how the being of medium capacity arrives at his or her goal of liberation, and through recognition of all of the types of suffering of cyclic existence and a desire to definitely get out of that.
What 제분딩 안데 통을 나라 되는 타바투바 이나야 상제 투 말레스 녀모부 바차 봉투 말레 시디 봉투 말레스 시디 마봉바 인소다 안에 타지 쳔바 차투 말레스 안에 상제 고봉투 타지 쳔바 용알라 되네 시디 바차 봉비 테바 쳔비 랑로 장고 말레스 상주 센로 장고레 상주 센로 장고서 말베 테바 쳔비 랑.
So the teachings that are shared in common with beings of medium capacity do allow the practitioner to achieve liberation, but he or she cannot achieve the state of Buddhahood because the imprints of the afflictive obstructions or the obstructions to omniscience are still present in the mind. And the only way that one can eradicate or abandon these obstructions to omniscience is by practicing the great vehicle teachings, by attaining the mind that aspires to enlightenment or bodhicitta. This Mahayana mind generation, coupled with the other practices, allow the practitioner to relieve the obstructions, to be relieved of the obstructions to omniscience, and allows him or her to achieve the state of complete Buddhahood or omniscience. So this omniscient mind is achieved through practicing the great vehicle or the teachings for beings of great capacity. So if one wishes to generate the mind that goes to enlightenment or bodhicitta, there are two causal vehicles for him or her to do so. The first being the seven-point cause and effect for achieving the mind that aspires to enlightenment. And the second is equalizing and exchanging self and others. So these are two lineages of causal practices that allow one to generate the mind that aspires to enlightenment. So once one achieves mind that aspires to enlightenment, then he becomes a bodhisattva. And then as a bodhisattva, he or she then practices the 6 perfections. Then engages in the practice of the 6 perfections. And coupled with the 3 higher trainings.
Tene khan jogi ne abres pashin tibe tejen de la ne ju paru de bi teba de rebo sanga du ji tibe teba san ha tejen de la tene sanga ge teba de ni yores pashin tibe nyale du ya bu jongsu na tene khan jogi ne abres ha de shida ge phen chobres ha de le ane joba yina sa ju bu togres o tene ge jirma chi gi lari chim talu son duas
the Lobsang got dorje tepa.
You paradishim tibot, there was sanga do tibas. Soda na maya na tata na maya na river.
Jew paro de shimba
tibata, there was sanga do tibas. Passing tibi lan she lan to sukolo, jures mariba. Telatene and then hang in your letter to young waters. Dribu passing sanga do tibas mariba.
One moment. Okay, so once one practices the perfection vehicle and practices the paths contained within the perfection vehicle of the great vehicle teachings, within the category of the teachings for beings of great capacity, then he or she can practice the tantric vehicle. And the tantric vehicle becomes the resultant vehicle. The causal vehicle being the causal perfection vehicle, and the resultant vehicle being the resultant secret Vajra vehicle. So the result of the practice of the perfection vehicle is Tantrayana, or the effect is the secret Vajra vehicle.
That positive long lojan jing, hale lojan jing, yandu ne abores. Positive long jul majibato, ganyan le majibato, ushaba yin, and nasu to send down your marinatul chaumatabasha yungres. Positive yan le down, and then hagen yan yandu dugores, marve.
So it's important because of impermanence and because of the fact that we will die. That we practice in the union of the perfection vehicle and the tantric vehicle. If we don't practice the tantric vehicle now, we might not do so before we die, and then it will be of no use. So it's important now, because we have the ability to do so, to practice both the perfection vehicle path and the tantric or Vajrayana together, or the tantric vehicle path.
어제 다 파신 TV 라당 하나 니헬 로장 제네든 바차지야 두바이나 안 서로 심마 지와 심마 두줄든 야야야 용거스 고 바차드 세용 메용거스.
So by practicing a union of the perfection vehicle path and the tantric vehicle path, then one leaves imprints within his or her continuum that in future lives will allow one to be able to meet with these and practice the perfection vehicle and tantric vehicle again. So these imprints will ripen into abilities of practice in future lives, abilities to practice in future lives.
편식 뭐 요아레스 편식 뭐 요아레 되는 가지고 주체 제산다 어떤 게 뭐도 제산다 어떤 게 토네 파신 디발 멤비 안에 투 소나다 시그 투 레하버진 사야게 안에 편 뭐 요아레스 말바.
So there are many great benefits that one can find in the tantric vehicle that cannot be found in the perfection vehicle. One can find the benefits of the force of the 8 attainments and other attainments or attributes that one gains, are benefits that one gains through practice of the tantric vehicle that are exclusive to the tantric vehicle, not found in the perfection vehicle. So one can accumulate a large amount of merit by practicing this vehicle because of the exclusive attainments that one can achieve.
어제 딱 하드는 라운드 어떤 마지루지스 하드니를 두바이서 말베 하드니를 두바이서 안가 조절도와 조조 어떤 마 하드니를 두바이 세단 제수 레나지 bom바장도라서 조신 제수 두지장 이제제
J 강에서는 NGK
그래
슈가니 나마
다 도와이는 샤주주 용수 주반되바다 샤와쇼수 주송비 게드 상하 쉔드 나스 어드바도 마르베르와 안네 사제기 샤유주 쉐비주 하들라 제송거스 샤유주 쉐비주 nenjuju nenjulana메 주디 제송 송거스 도스냐래 제기나 파신 디발면 편식부 모요레스
So here we see the tantric path begins at stanza number 60. So if everybody who has a text, Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment, can turn to number 60 and 61, we'll be reading those together. So number 60, just give everyone a moment to get there. Number 60 states, if you wish to create with ease the collections for enlightenment through activities of pacification, increase, and so forth, gained by the power of mantra, and also through the force of the 8 and other great attainments like good pot, if you want to practice secret mantra, as explained in the actions and performance tantras. So here, these two stanzas speak of the achievements that one can gain through the 4 different tantric classes, the action tantra, performance tantra, yogic tantra, and highest yoga tantra. So the four tantric classes are abbreviated here where it says, as explained in the action and performance tantras. And the one thing that I previously didn't translate was one can also, through the practice of Tantra, not only gain the attainments, but the various activities and so forth. So I've left the activities out, and I apologize for that in the previous translation. So the 4 classes of Tantra are what are contained here and what will allow one to achieve these various results.
어제 다때는 그래서 그래 하냐래 제가 그때는 그 여바 이나 안에 편여도 도라게 여바 이나 여바 전진 이거 말에 안에 하고 온토 그래서 온토발라 하고 온고 경기 도줄르면 하고 라마 어디 라마 계시버 하고 라마도 계시버스 온고 하기 가서 그래 안에 tantra teachers 그래 어때 계시버스 말이야.
That's so. So just having the desire to practice the Tantra itself is not enough. One must have various preliminaries or pre-rites in order to be a practitioner. So if one wishes to practice Tantra, it's necessary to receive an initiation from a proper tantric Dorje Lopun, Vajra teacher, so Vajra master. It's necessary. So it's necessary to have a Vajra master who can grant initiation in order to be inducted into the tantric practice. So here we see the need for a spiritual teacher, and here specifically a tantric teacher.
So the
number 62 says, then to receive the preceptor initiation, you must please an excellent teacher through the service, valuable gifts, and the like, as well as through obedience. So here we've arrived in the tantric teacher, Vajra teacher.
What did and Hagi Lama did then Kasu Momo Tangwaris, then Tanguba then Lamanga Juba goes son yoris, Marvel, Lamanga Juba, and Sanji Jun Momo non sonja yoris, Roa. And the Sama Masamba Inaya, then Domba son de Gil dance, Sotaji Domba, Shanseng Domba, Hadun son again, or then again Domba son de Juba Inan, Jones on Gokan Lama and Rigorous, Mata. And then Sama Masamba Inaya. What the Niji do now, what the Niji goes at it.
That's so. So there are many excellent qualities that are explained in Buddhist tantras, as well as the text called the 50 Verses on Guru Devotion by Ashvaghosha. And there are many excellent qualities that are explained that a Vajra master or tantric teacher must possess. But it's also stated that minimally, the teacher must possess the 3 sets of vows, the individual liberation vows, the bodhisattva vows, and the tantric vows. So minimally, tantric master must be a holder of those sets of vows in order to be an appropriate teacher, or as far as tantric teachers are concerned. So this is specific to tantric teachers at this time.
Lama the nearby Shene and Lama Gundil Onshu or to Jeba Yina, and then Hage, and then Modu to the pain to Kangalo Yunguris, Mariba, Jojuri Soro, Lama nearby Joba, Yunzu Luban Onku, Digun Nada Danin, and Modu to get dangerous, and then Teni Tsayu, and then Lami Gundil Onshu, and then Hanya Jeba Yina, and then Hage, pain to the Yunguris, Mariba.
Tama Yanjasuna.
That's Susugi and Hagalama Euro, Lami Gunune, on Shubaina, on Shu, Hanya Lechebaina, and then Hag Modus and the Benebetus Lunguris, Dibatan.
Okay, so then number 63 states, through the full bestowing of the preceptor initiation by a spiritual teacher who is pleased, you are purified of all wrongdoing and become fit to gain powerful attainment. So if one attains or acquires a tantric lama or a Vajra master and then receives the initiation, then there are various benefits that he or she will receive. And one of them being that there will be a purification of all misdeeds when one receives the initiation from a Vajra master and so forth. So if one practices, if one receives the initiation from a Vajra master, then he or she will be able to practice the tantras, and then by practicing the tantras, one will be able to achieve the attainments and so forth and be purified of misdeeds. So the door to Tantrayana is an initiation. Just as the door to Buddhism is refuge, and the door to the Mahayana is the mind that aspires to enlightenment. The door to Tantra is an initiation.
Geshe Lharampa Zhuan Rebi Wans, and the Jidan on Mita de Song Useris, Piji Juan, Geshe Lharampa Zhuan Rebi Wans Marbe. Then Kasu Tangazu Tambo, Tanangasu Onse at the Piji Juans, Ju, Hagan, legible Tam on to Gurua, on to Sugar say at the Piji Juans. Piji and the Garasanasu, Shitul Natsu Sanju de. And Nasu Tonris, the child on Kondon to Chabusharis. Then what they want to do in Anna Jude Mine, and then send you our channel, Meji Hagi, Yalegia, without Ringers, Jim Hibershiba, Jim Hibershibi, one, G1. Jersey Lange one, then Hagalan to the Roland part, counterpart, causes counterpart, Ruby Long. Zhuan Rebi once again the Sanjiro and Rebo Longutan, Drugutan, and then what the Jiri Karsugore, USA, Julie, Sanjiki, USA, Julie to go on Rebi one.
This Sumba.
Longutan, Drugu to the Rebi one, Marbe. I let Domachilla and PG G1.
Do you know the actual name technically of that, Ed?
Causal ripen initiation is the first one.
Yeah, I got the ripe and cause, and I just.
Also, ripen, in other words, it ripens the cause. The middle one is the
Geshe Lharampa. Geshe Lharampa. Geshe. That the Jiri don't do into Nyala Jigina, and Nyomo what the she devil drew a shaker with that, Marbe. Geshe Lharampa. That got then Hag Ruby Land, Hag Ruby Land. Hag Sama Jibi, and then Habag Lajura. What the Geshe Language, Hag Tolan and Golan to the Rita. Jiri don't do it, Hag Jiri to do it. Sanjig to Julan to the Jibi one.
So it's the causal ripening.
initiation. The middle is, I'm not sure if that's the purifying path initiation or the traversing path initiation.
Yeah, purifying path is what I wrote.
Okay, and the last one is the resultant initiation.
I have effect, initiation, achieving. Okay, so we'll go the causal ripening initiation. I have my notes are all. The causal ripening initiation. Can you say that again? Causal ripening initiation. The second one. What did we say that was, Ed? I'm sorry? Causal ripening initiation, purifying path initiation. I just want to make sure we get the proper ones on tape. Causal ripening initiation. Purifying path. The Nipa. So the purifying path initiation refers to the purification of the obstructions to omniscience and the afflictive obstructions that take place on the various tantric path, 5 tantric paths, especially the tantric path of seeing, the tantric path of meditation, and the tantric path of no more learning. So these purifying path initiations refer to the abandonments and so forth that take place on the tantric paths. This initiation is an induction into these paths. And then the third one, Sumba.
Sumba, Zhuan Rebi Wang. Rebu, then Hag Yala Jebel Rebu Garayung, Rebu Hag Sanji Guru, Hag and Taji Chimba Yungure, Juliet no USA, Sanji Juliet no USA, Rungut no Truku to swing.
So the resultant initiation would probably be the easiest way. So the third one being called the resultant initiation, and resultant referring to the result of the enjoyment and emanation bodies, and tuku, the chuku. So all of the excellent qualities of the Buddha, the emanation body, the enjoyment body, the truth body. So all of these excellent qualities or attainments of the Buddha one is inducted into the potential by the third resultant initiation. So the causal ripening initiation, the purifying path initiation, and the resultant initiation. So these are the three types of initiations.
단단 가서 주어의 매제 주용원です. 매제 주 단단 가서 온슈에서 매제 주용원들에서 매제 주용원도 제거です.
So the one that we are most familiar with is the causal ripening initiation, Mishigiju.
매제 주용원.
Dakpar.
가서 온슈디아도 어들에서.
So when we attend an initiation, generally we're attending the causal ripening initiation.
다 샤주도 샤주니들 온니마도 메스 온니 리고서스 본화제 주변 온니 이 다지 본화 안에 르다지 주변 온화 안에 나자네 리고서 본화 상화 안에 가서 그래 어떤게 리바이지 온나자네 리고서스.
So the action and performance tantra. Okay, so this is different. So Shaju dang shuju ni ni. Okay.
다지 봉화 봉비왕. 르다지 주변공 what the need.
So the action and performance tantras are generally, we say there are the two initiations, the water initiation and the crown initiation. So the water initiation is the Chu Yi Dashi. The water initiation is a purification of the mind, and the crown initiation is a purification of the body. So these two initiations are primarily found in the action and performance tantra. Then the Wang Nga.
Not that Bombi che roa then juben on doji table make on not good and digosares.
The Shaju dang shuju
Yin chal one
digre.
Ni degrees.
Ni digre nga digre.
Okay.
But it's also sufficient to have the 5 initiations as well in the action and performance tantras. And the 5 initiations being the water and crown, bell and dorje, water, crown, vajra, bell, and name. So these 5 types of initiations are the 5 initiations that are also found in these tantras. So we can say either the 2, the water and the crown, or the 5, the water, crown, vajra, bell, and name.
Name what is that?
So the yogic tantras have the addition of the dorje, the vajra master initiation as well.
No, the 2 hours. That you do command then the San Jison down what does le then one Karsugure. Gigi not someone do but what to sell one Karsugure. Dojil Humi want Dojil Humage on that Tamani was Marbe. Wantala, Pombi Wantala, and Dojil Humi Wantala, Dojil Humi on Dojil Humi on the Dojil Humi on ye. Dojil Humi on the Naje, Marbe.
Dorje,
Humi.
vajra.
But that's student initiation.
Yeah. Dorje, lopun.
Dojil Humi on.
Wang, okay. Vajra initiation, okay.
Troje, one true is Marbe. One true.
6 initiations, okay.
True that then Tagiloban Raboris. Chu one. Chubenji one. Doje, Table. Make one. Naje. What they Dojil Humi one address. That Dojil Humi on the Gujana true. One true. Pumi one true is.
Dorje lopung iwang drew, then dorje.
Dojil Humi on Naje. Dojil Humi on the true. They Pumbi one is. One de la true yours. Pumbi one true. Someone do but Gigi dan Dinju to one true is.
So in the highest yoga tantras, such as Guhya Samaja and Gigi Dang and Yamantaka and one other one he mentioned. So in Yamantaka and the Guhya Samaja lineages, we find that there are the various initiations. There are initiations that are similar to the prior, being that there are the water, crown, vajra, bell, and name initiations, but there is the addition of actually two kinds of initiations, a vajra student initiation and the vajra master initiation, correct?
Those 5 initiations just discussed in the Anantara system are the 5 vajra student initiations.
Okay,
And
okay, I see.
Of the vajra master initiation, as in the lower mantras, and those 2 divisions together, the vajra student and the vajra master initiation, together make the base initiation.
So the vajra student and the vajra master together make the vase initiation, which is the exclusive initiation of the yoga.
This is what the Vasa initiation is in Highest Yoga Tantra.
Okay, so the 5 initiations of the the water, crown, vajra, bell, and name in the highest Yoga Tantra tradition, specifically in the Yamantaka, Guhya Samaja, etc. The 5 are the vajra student initiations, and the 6th vajra master initiation, combined with the 6th, the vajra master initiation, combined with the vajra student initiation, create the vasa, create the vasa initiation.
Doji lomi ngaji, doji lomi nga, doji lomi tantra student 5 initiations. Buddha tantra teachers one initiation. 6th initiation is Pombi one.
So that's exactly it. So Lapsar. So the two combined, the 5 Vajra student initiations and the 1 Vajra teacher initiation combined make up for the Vase initiation according to the highest Yoga Tantra tradition in these specific tantric vehicles.
Or the Pombi one, the Tamabin Hajan the Kaguaris, Tamabin Hajan Gane, and then Tribu Kunduak in the Vajawas, Drogun to be in the Vajawas,
Emanation.
Jebo, Drogun to be, Drogus
Emanation body. So this, the
Taman Hajan, Taman Hag Ponjat Bon, then the Devo carrying with the Drogu Drogu to be in the Vajagas, Pachajagas, what they want.
So by practice of these 5,
6, Pombi one Toro, Trugi.
So by practice of the 6 Vaz initiations, one is able to achieve the state of the emanation body.
By purifying, clinging to ordinary appearances.
Oh, by purification of the ordinary appearances.
The clinging to ordinary appearances.
By purification of the clinging or attachment to ordinary appearances, one is able to achieve the state of the emanation body.
Oji da Bonwaji, Sawa Bonwa Gangi Chujin, Sawan Diva, Hotel, Bonwa Gangi Chujin Goale, Taman Haji Dematrovashu, Sawa Yeshi Duzinyavale, Nane Lon has a Chawashu, Sombal Henji Gai, Jaju, Yini Sayings and Demashu, Jiba Sonju Ngotrebe, Tatu Dulu Chabashus, Bonwa Dege, and then Hag, Taman Haji Ponjat Bone, and the Drogun Duvashikris, Droguyungris. That one year about Sawa Marba Sawa. Secret initiation, secret initiation, and Sawa Dege Garzagore, and then Lama Nobajor, and then Lama Sabinsu Marbe, Sabin, and then Romal Tene, Romi Jetule, Nyane, the Wache, the Wadi Tomangaba, Namaja, what the Mergurus, what the Sawa Marbe, Sawa, Ze Sawa. Lama Nobajune, and the Shansan Kama, the Romal. Not to Sipin Sumar. Lama Sipin, the Romal de Chetu Nabal, then the Wache. What did the Wadi toning about and the Santamaina? Secret initiation is there.
Then Bayungare, Depogare.
Debo
on the Tambo. Okay, so Tambo Wang, Depo, Truku.
That number one has a swamp, one has a that's someone, never someone, someone is she using Yambale. Nane alone has a shows. Someone told and the Yabuina, Tanangasu Nag, the Geshe Euro, Geshe, Geshe, Nagu Lonju Marbe, ane jeman ha ga nyalen de abu long de ha cha no go on long ha cha on na ne long ha se cha long gun ru bi ne ba cha ja go sambuka.
So by the second kind of initiation is the secret initiation. And this secret initiation is when the secret substances are given by the teacher to the student, and these secret substances are from the secret place that are generated when the union of male and consort are together in the highest yogic tantric tradition. So this secret substance is generated, and then one who it is given to is able to meditate upon emptiness, the lack of true establishment, and then taste this secret substance, and a great bliss and purification takes place. So then one, through purification of these ordinary appearances, one can transform his or her ordinary speech into the purified speech of Om Ah Hom. So the speech is then converted into those syllables, Sanskrit syllables, Om Ah Hom. So the speech becomes pure, and the enjoyment body is then generated. So the secret initiation allows one to achieve the enjoyment body. So that is the end result of the practice that one is able to engage in through conferment of the second initiation, or the secret initiation, where there is a transfer of the secret substances. The effect is the enjoyment body.
Enjoyment body, Sambukaya. This one.
Longko is enjoyment body.
Okay. That the Somba Shera Shejong, Somba Henji Gai Jaju Yin Usagins and Dembashus, one Somba Shera Shejong Secrets, and then Lame and Roma Rima, and the Karasoko, Rimas and Wami Sumarbe, Wami, and then Wami Dan Kasura, Dangas Sheza Majuna, Nobashune, and the end of course the Wajun Marbe. What they gave, Tony to Lai Neju Chabayina. And the USA going to join USA. And the USA going to join Science to be USA. And the Robatai to USA. And the what the USA Momongo Tonga, you are so what things that USA or clear light, yeah.
Clear light. So the third type of initiation is the exalted wisdom. We're still unsure of because it's literally translated as the exalted wisdom initiation. So that's what I'm going to call it today, the exalted wisdom initiation. So this initiation is where the actual consort is given, and then one engages in the practice of the consort. And then when the one is engaging in this practice, what would ordinarily be created, the bliss or happiness that would be created as a result of this activity, is transformed into actual emptiness. So this blissful feeling is converted into emptiness, and then one can actualize, one can one can realize the clear light quite easily when one is able to harness this bliss that is created at the time of this union. So this is what the goal is of this union of consort and practitioner. It is to be able to achieve the clear light, a realization of the clear light through realizing emptiness because of the bliss created. So the effect of this is the truth body, or the Dharmakaya.
ane sanjegi juji julyo na wese tu kanderes ngoji re tadires tende santane ane kwa cha sona she sona ane onjeba towares onjeba
Tsikwa.
onjeba tsikwa
chik tare garishene
julyo na wese ane lobi sonjus loba laji kaso ane lobi julyo ngag lyo sabaji tongwa yowares ane wese toni tu be wese yorwa What the Nyandu son to Jobatel.
Doni Dupi wears a clear light, wisdom, realizing emptiness.
Hank Lusabaji Tongo, what the Jumi Lus, Jumi Lu.
A new body of clear light.
What the
A
down?
body of light. The illusory body. Then the Sikh Wang, the Chikdang Tade, Garishan
Tis, that's the word. Lobby Jumi Lu, Lobby say Tonabi Jumi Lu or how Tonabi Jumi Lu or you say you are. Then you can is Moji Tadiris. Then the San Jedulu said Julio, Moji Tadiri, those Momo Sandan, she's on the Guachazona, Silane, Guachazona, and Ojiva Toveris.
So the fourth initiation, if I miss anything, Ed, if you could help me, the fourth initiation is the word initiation. So the word initiation allows one to achieve the illusory body or the body of the clear body. So one has the wisdom realizing, achieves the wisdom realizing emptiness, the wisdom realizing emptiness of clear light. So one achieves this through the word initiation. Let's go to Kashik Lamasno.
So there's the illusory, at the tantric path of seeing, there's illusory body, and then there's clear light, and at the state of no more learning Buddhahood, there's illusory body and clear light. So the student thinks, what is the, are these two pairs, are they of the same nature or different nature? That of at the time of the path of seeing, is it the same or different nature from the illusory body and the clear light at the time of Buddhahood? So thinking about these and reasoning about it, when one hears the words of the explanation from the teacher and one understands that, then one achieves the word initiation.
What the Sig wants, Sig that in and Lomagaya, the Legend Maris and Guachas and Dandibers, Onjibatovers.
So once one hears this, and once one hears this and ascertains it, then at this point the name, word initiation is then conferred.
What the someone do but on Gigi, Dinchuk and Dabarindus, someone do be Malon Tenduas, one Gangi Chujun Kuale, Taman Hajan Taman Tribush, someone you should do the Yambale, Nane alone and Hazu Shawashu. Somebody Henji Gai, Jaju, Yini, say is in Dembashu, Jibas on Motrebe, Tatu Don Dundu Chavashus. That Gigi gate, then one high chu, Tamaji, Hajan Gunda Gomi, on Juki, Jayuson, you say eat on there, Sonju Nello Montun Joshus. Then Dinchul Tendua, Onju Gui, and Gojun Dungaji, Nebanjuji, Dema Tragin, and what the Dinchul Tendua, Dinchul Tan, Gigi Tan, someone you can double the Jibaris.
So this is going to be quite difficult, because Rinpoche just gave a quote from a tantric text. We don't know. So and it's basically saying exactly the same thing about the 4 sets of initiations. I don't know if you've ever seen this quote, Ed, if you can give a shot. I've never seen the quote, so.
But basically he quoted first from the
Guhya Samaja.
4 verses that explained first the base initiation,
right,
and the secret initiation, and then the wisdom initiation, and the word initiation.
Right.
Then he made a quote of having the same meaning from
Yamantaka
Tantra, and then he gave another quote having the same meaning from the
Jangasabo.
Tantra, and said these basically mean the same thing.
Yeah, so there were 3 quotes given from the Guhya Samaja, Yamantaka, and the Chakrasambhava Tantra, and those quotes basically were stating the same thing as the 4 initiations which were just described.
They were saying what the initiation is, what one experiences, and what the result is.
So the nature of the initiation, the experience and result. So the Kala Chakra Tantra is a little bit different.
On 1 du yoris, Sheba Tanjubi 1 du. 1 du. 1 du yoris, Sheba Tanjubi 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 1 du. 1 du yoris, Sheba Tan Sheba Danjubi on the Sheba Bogo Chuchun Lagoro, Bogo Chuchun, Sheba Lagmarva. Sheba Bogo Chuchun, the Ame Chu Tuya, Ane Anjul Jensataya, what in Mobaja, what in Rabaji on do or Sheba Danjubi on do.
The Pugu Chun Chun, the Ama, the Jencher.
Ame Bogo Trigre, and Bogo Jensatagre, Jensatan, then Chutan, Jubian, Doji Tributan, Chutan, Chuan, Jubian on. Doji on tribu on what on do yours do. What the Sheba then you on doing secrets?
Sheba, consciousness.
Sheba Boguchun, Sheba Boguchun.
Ah, like Sheba.
Similar, children similar, yeah. That
So-
you be on doing.
So the seven, I've seen this before too. I just have to apologize, and I thank Ed. The highest yoga tantra, I don't have a lot of the language for, so it comes up rarely, and today is come up. So there are 7 initiations, and the initiations are the 7, the consciousness initiations that are like a child,
Oh, the child.
relative to the Kala Chakra Tantra. So we're speaking of the differences here. So now we're speaking of relative to the Kala Chakra Tantra. So there are worldly benefits and super mundane benefits. So Rinpoche was describing these 2 types of benefits that one will achieve. And so the first, there are 7 types of initiations. And these are 7 consciousness initiations that are like the small child, or of the innocence of a child. What did?
7, maybe the 7 initiations of a child.
Chutan, Jubian.
Yeah, 7 childlike.
Similar
to a child.
Child,
Similar to-
on doing.
Okay, so the 7 initiations that are similar to a child, the similitude to a child, something like that. Sure, there's a word.
Or TV on Tenchik do yours.
Chu Wong.
Jubian, Doji Trebo. And then on the TV does a Boguchun Jensatagma, Anjul,
So, so a small child isn't able to do many things. So the parent then puts does the bathing for him or her, and puts on maybe earrings of some sort, puts earrings and ornaments and things all over the child, and so forth. So these 7 initiations are similar to this. Then the Pama, the Pugu Chun Chun, Ropa Chegudu, then the Suk Tru Dan, the Jenchur, the Tolu Te, then the Dun.
Sheba
There's
Dun,
Ropa
doing
Dun, Wang Dun,
Sheba
Drabal
on doing this.
Okay, so-
Take Gobakari Chetu, Jitem go to Cheturis.
So these are these are worldly benefits, and these 7 initiations are compared to a child and compared to the parent who is helping the child to do things that he or she cannot, such as dressing, washing, putting earrings, ornaments, etc. on.
Then the Sanji go to be Cheto on Goma, Gonchens, on Goma Je, Gonchens Je, Dojo Human Tabaji once, what the Goma la Ji orders. Goma Jin Dabure, Bon Sawan, Shira is on Jiba Sawan Jiji, Gonchen Lea Bon Sawan, Shiwan, Shira is on Jiji, J.
Then the Dukor Wang, Je,
On Goma Je,
Goma,
on Goma la Je,
Goma, don't go right.
Goma Tama,
Lower and higher.
Boang Tama. Tama on Goma la Je, Bon Sawan, Shira is on Jiba Jiji.
So lower initiations, there are 4, and higher initiations.
They're
Goma, Gonchens Tama.
higher and great higher and 4 higher initiations, 4 great higher initiations.
Yeah,
The
so there are 4
Boaje,
higher initiations and 4
Boaje.
great higher
Yeah, what did
initiations.
it? On Goma Jete, Bon Sawan, Shira is on Jete, Duku Jirin, Tanzuri, Yalan, Susan Yalan Jigina, on Goma Jete Guguris, Bon Sawan, Shira is
Pongwan,
on
Sanwan. We gotta write this.
Tama
Pongwan.
double it.
The 4 are the same.
Me Jibar.
Vase.
On Goma la Je, Bon, what initiation, Sawan, secret initiation, and then Caso Shira is on.
Wisdom.
Tiwan,
And
Jiri.
the word.
Jiri. They jet Goba Karichi to Goba Karichi to Resana, Susu to Kuilan, Yalanjigina, Jirin to Turin, Comaji to Gugres.
So it's similar. The 4 initiations in the Kalachakra Tantra, in order to achieve the state of Buddhahood, are very similar. The water initiation, the secret initiation, the wisdom initiation, and the word initiation. So these initiations are very similar in the Kalachakra Tantra that allow one to achieve the state of Kalachakra or Buddhahood. And those who practice the generation and completion stage must have these. So, in order, though, to give the initiation to others, in order to confer this initiation or blessing on someone else, then it's necessary to have the what do we call it? The highest, the great higher initiation. So the 4 great higher initiations must be given. So the water, secret, and wisdom. Water initiation, secret initiation. The water, great high initiation, the secret, wisdom, and word. So these 4 must be taken in order to confer an initiation on others. Then the Dorje Lopung. Then the Judru, So is that the 16th because we have 15? So we've already gone through 15. So the 16th is the Vajra master, the Vajra lineage holder, the Vajra master initiation, Vajra Sewang Rinpoche, similar to the word initiation, similar to the word initiation. And this is, again, exclusive to the Kalachakra tradition, highest yoga tantra. Sawang, Sewang, secret word. Then Juchi Guna, then Sheba Dun, then a Sawang, Sewang. Sawang,
Sewang,
Sawang, Shewang, Sherieshijiwang. So we have a way that we can also say, instead of 15, it can be enumerated as 11. And enumerated as 11, we have the 7 consciousness of the initiation like a small child. So we have the 7, and then we have the secret initiation, the wisdom initiation, that's 7, 8, 9, missing 2. The word initiation I thought was deleted. Jujipa, the word initiation. Then a Dun, Lapsak.
Dungulu Sangwang, Xiwang, Shirajijwang, Jurojo. Sangwang, Xiwang, Shirajijwang. Shirajijwang, Singwang Mare. Shebaju Dunji, Sangwang Jeje, Xiwang Goje.
I'm missing
Shirajijwang.
So what's the Shewang is what I'm missing.
Sangwang, Shirajijwang.
Okay, so the Shewang and Sherieshijiwang is the same thing. That's why we're having a problem. Secret initiation.
Shebaju Dunji, Puanje, Jeje, Sangwang Goje, 싫어 시종 죄지.
That's it.
죄래서 등골 치와잖아. 누줄르면 다바지 뭐전 죄지 온 죄지.
Okay, so we have the 7 consciousness initiation like a small child. So we have those 7. Then we have the secret initiation, the vase initiation,
봉
Then the
와라 이니시.
the water initiation, like a child, the 7. Then the sangwang, secret initiation.
사회 이니시션.
Right.
로와.
납사.
대지제자지. 다 등골 와라 이니시션. 시고 이니시션. 안 싫어 시종. 송전 좀 말해.
So the water initiation, the secret initiation, and the wisdom, or the water initiation, the wisdom initiation, and the secret initiation. Those are the 3.
죄래서
initiation, the secret initiation, the wisdom initiation, that makes 10.
뭐들
Right.
죄 텐레서.
And then the 11th is the word initiation.
다 누줄르면 다바지면 온들 온 집었을러네 이거 어디 죄지들스.
Doje Lu, so the Vajra Master initiation can make the 11th.
죄지 어떤지 않는 이거.
So for anyone who's taking notes, for the 7 that are the 7 consciousness initiations that are like a small child, the water initiation, the secret initiation, and the wisdom initiation.
10.
That makes 10, and the Vajra Master initiation makes 11. So this is a way that we can enumerate them as 11.
어떤 애들 라고야도 가르스는 애들 그건 대바지티는 인시툴 레디오아르스 그건 대바 인시툴 그저 캐나다를 되네 칼라자가 이니시에이티를 딜 어떤 애디샤바도 되네 데노로 고도와스 요아르스 네 캐나다
NGK
칼라자가 이니시에이션 데노로 네 인시툴 디샤바데 어디 캐나다를 되네 아바타즈 나올도 와스 등에 오들레 온테 투디오레 오 다링에 대자마조야 체두인스.
So when I went to the Kala Chakra initiation in Canada, they handed out a book, and in the book, I believe Rinpoche had a commentary. Rinpoche gave a commentary on Kala Chakra Chirangi Delpa.
내가 그 로주지 디샤바지
Nanla.
디샤바데 인슈툴 주샤바지.
Rinpoche's commentary on the Kala Chakra was translated into English. It was handed out to everybody at the Kala Chakra initiation from His Holiness's office. Rinpoche had a commentary in there. So Rinpoche wanted to clear up and go over anything that you might have read in there today. So if you have that and previously read it from Kala Chakra, then here are some notes to put into that with clarification.
There was a mistake in there, so he's correct.
June Yurubay.
정어는 뭐지 부드가야를 두고 오냐 나비거들이스 해마 부드가야.
Previously in Bodh Gaya, Dalai Lama gave an initiation of Kala Chakra.
어디드네 베비레 콘드네 그 주드 두고 로주티다스. 아니 베바가 주네레 공요로 주네레 공. 주네레 추기 내수고 레공조 오피스.
Okay, is it a Dharma office of some sort?
다들 저다지야지 그거도 주드 두고 로주티다사. 아니 내가 티오로다. 아니 그저 인식돌 되어다. 아바타지 타오거로. 되게 고마 공제주 놀을 때 초디어르스네. 어떤 게 다들 점아줘야 제도인.
So in there was a mistake that was made. So today I've clarified and purified the mistake that was in that. So previously they had asked me, there was a Dharma committee, a Dharma office committee that had asked me who was going to write a thing, a small commentary up on Kala Chakra, and they put it on an advertisement or a magazine. Chaptra is advertisement, but could mean maybe magazine or something also, and sent it out to many people, and then translated into English, and it appeared. So I just wanted to clarify the mistake that was in there about the various initiations.
어떻게 로주티셔 두고 그 인치도 데노로 요아르스. 다다링에 셰야데 백일 투데야 주로 데 자마 제고르스.
NGK Deb
인치가 나올을 때 투데야 주어르스. 어디 인치도 요로다. 그저 인치 응게데요. 게테샤바데 인치도 주도 요아르다. 가 차만 간자밀이 그걸 쳐다다. Okay, so there was previously this commentary that circulated out in English, and so many people were able to read it
that had a mistake inside of it. And today I have purified that. I've cleaned that mistake that was previously made and set it straight.
이나 두쿨 대구도 개바 쪽만 동고 치아요 말아서 개바 쪽에 나 그때 투샷을 나왔대.
But if somebody isn't a scholar, they wouldn't have found it anyway. So this is a conversation for somebody who really is a scholar of the Kala Chakra. Because if someone isn't a scholar, it wouldn't have necessarily been so seen so readily.
What the 두쿨이 와
Translate K. Jorgi June?
말 녀르다.
No.
내 베이 툴티네
Rinpoche's
티준쇼.
mistake. It wasn't the translator's mistake.
때는 그저 내 베이도 디샤부터 그저 인식 돌지로다.
Chirampuik, Jason.
디샤부터 그저 랑상 인식 돌지로.
So first I wrote it into Tibetan and then they made it into the English.
어제 다때네 어때 두쿨들 셰바단 주고 온뒤 고마제 공천제 도줄로면 다바체미 온 주도 송산도 스마르바 지데비 모두도 비체도 셰바도 주고 온뒤 아니 두쿨이 지리던 조리 수수 녀슬래 봐이나 아니 온 고마제데 봉화상화 싫어 시죠 온
Dedsko Kali Kali Gangasen.
내가 듣는 생각 아니 수수 두쿨이 지리던 조리 녀슬래 봐이나 아니 온 고마 봉화상화 싫어 시죠 온지바 상화는 뭐지 어디제도 구구요사래 아니 두고기 주데 아니 소소 젠을 파시 젠달을 셰바이나 공천게 봉화 상화 싫어 시중화 온지바 상화는 뭐지 어디제도 구구요사래스 안 도줄로면 다바지 온데 온주루 마드나 온주지 아니 온주루라 사주루 미다서 요아레스 네 온주지라 사주지 미다서 어떤 데서 어다 로즈 인디그다.
So we can also name these as the different grounds. So these two divisions that are given, the 16 different ways to divide the initiations according to the Kala Chakra, or the 11 ways to divide them. And I'm not exactly clear. Rinpoche said he wanted to make sure that all of the Tibetan was on the videotape, and that's why he was going quite quickly. He wanted to make sure it was all clear on the videotape. But the 16 initiations are the 16 that were previously explained, which were the 7 consciousness initiations that are like a child, and then that coupled with the 4 initiations of the higher initiations of the water, the secret, the wisdom, and the word initiations, and then the 4 highest high initiations, right, of the water, the secret, the wisdom, and the word. In addition to that, the Vajra Master initiation, making a total of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, making a total of 16. So it can be divided into 16 that way, or 11 if one was to take the 7 consciousness initiations like a child and add the secret initiation, the water initiation, the wisdom initiation, and then the addition of the Vajra Master initiation, and that makes 11. So it can be divided into 16 initiations or 11 initiations in the Kala Chakra. Tamche Lobsang.
What the that you could chudan jubian doji trebudan shisu jikoso shebadan jubu on du. On good is in quantum conscience shisu jikoso, on command conscience, doji lumen tabachim on judu sunza you are. Do na on juji. What then
So we can divide it then, in summary, we can divide it into 16 initiations, the 16 consciousness like a child initiations, and the 4 higher initiations and the 4 highest higher initiations. Those 4 being the water, secret, and wisdom, and word, higher initiation, the water, secret, wisdom, and word, highest higher initiation, and the Vajra Master initiation. Those are the 16, and we can abbreviate it into 11 as previously described.
And the purposes of those sections, the initiations, the 7 initiations for the purpose of worldly attainments, the higher initiations for the purpose of achieving self-generation, and self-generation and completion stage, the generation stage and completion stage of the Kala Chakra Tantra, for oneself, and the highest higher initiations if one is going to confer or teach the cult chakra to somebody else.
어제 다드는 두고 trude 그게 인시대 둘이요. 주소 강가 라발요아레스. 어제 trude 가바트론도데 다지 나오르나스.
So now in your hands you have these commentaries on the Kala Chakra in English. So please check my work. Please go back and look at these words and see if they're the same. Check these books that are in English and see if they're the same as what I've said today.
당하 어디 하냐래 지네드네 하게 자유동화다 bombo 어떤 게 예범보 어디서 아네 하게 동바 송하게 제버 당시 동바 송하게 제버스 마송의 예가요아레스 안에 게도 송마도가 있나야 안에 데 원슈바 있나 디바 동화가 다는 디바 다그레스 되는 이자동하야다 어떤 게 다간데 원슈게 슈게 디바 사가사 샤나지게 냥도레 마도지게 담은이는 사제 나중 와요 말스 담은이는 원슈 동화대 권나야 샤나지게 지게 원슈 이자는 안 동샤는 데 어떤 냥도 누거스.
So it's not to say that we will first just attend an initiation and we will be purified of everything and all of this will go away and we'll be able to instantaneously achieve our goals. That isn't the truth. It is a series of practice, a series of attending an initiation, and then perhaps engaging in misdeeds, engaging in non-virtue, then doing maybe 100-syllable mantra, the mantra of Vajrasattva, a confession of downfalls, 35 Buddhas of confession, an acknowledgement of one's downfalls, and continuing that process of creating virtue and then creating misdeeds and confessing those misdeeds. So this is a process that one must engage in. It's not something that one can just do once, and because it's very important to keep the vows of morality when one is engaging in practice. So one will create misdeeds. It's very important to abstain from the advices of abstinence, and it's important to take and hold the tantric vows. And also important, if one has transgressed any of these, to engage in acknowledgement and purification. So this is a process. This is a process of practice.
아니 조주레제 어떤마 담비 상지 주체레 저dom베베 까비지 상와셔로 오고는 참바셔베 람메자스 어떤네 조주레제데 인지 자질로르제다.
So number 64 says, because the great tantra of the primordial Buddha forbids it emphatically, those observing pure conduct should not take the secret and wisdom initiation. Sa.
담비 상지 주체레 저dom베베 까비지 상와셔로 오고는 참바셔베 람메자스 때 된다 가르서고서나 담비 상지 주체레 세야데 담비 주데 베드주쿨이 탄타트레스 안 아디샤세 안에 뒤주쿨이 주나로레 네 상완당 싫어 이제 좀 와니부터 글론당 안 쪽에 라는这个 말에서 까도스 까자요레스 담비 상지 주친 배 뒤주쿨이 탄탈레 주친레 저도 베베 까비시스 까도스 가르까도스나 시고 이니시에이션 단 싫어 이제 좀 와니부터 말배 대 참바셔봐 아니 잡아당 안 쪽에 라는这个 말에서 까도스 참바셔를 넘어서 어때 되질라고.
So number 64 here, Atisha states that one who observes the vows of pure conduct, here this is referring to monks and nuns, and those who are holders of vows of celibacy are not allowed to take the secret and wisdom initiations, because this would cause them to have to engage in a union with a member of a union that would break their vow of celibacy. So here, this is why it states forbids it emphatically, and it is referring to ordained people, holders of vows of celibacy. Atisha is stating that it forbids it emphatically, and that those who observe these vows cannot take the secret and wisdom initiations.
어제 다드네 뒤주쿨이 줄에 안 잡아다 안 속에 안 상완당 싫어 이제 원랑 네가 말해서 까버스 가르지는 까버스 garage is kaba tiba ina tabada anago de sawanda shera shi wan de lamba ina ane tabag domba chan gores tene nga son gores ka ngudu ji da yo mari jota what so marbe ane odindenda 담비 산제 주신의 로든 베비 가비 산 shera 원군 참바 쉐비 람메자 게도 원군 던진 나스 타바다 안게 ane 상와데 shera 시 원군 던진 바이나 들람 바이나 창쇼 가토 라네베 ane 까번조 대시 가토 동바 대냐한테 가토 동바 대냐한테 뒤주 전지 pom바이 동화다는 종주신 되는 손나 되는 손에 동외 조바나요 마이스 잡아다 안에 드네 동방계네 동화용 그래서 예바용 그래서 되는 게 손을 재는 하고르지도 요 말이지 보다 어떻지루야르지.
So here we'll read on. It says, if those observing the austere practice of pure conduct were to hold these initiations, their vow of austerity would be impaired through doing that which is prescribed. This creates transgressions which are a defeat for those observing discipline. Since they are certain to fall to a bad rebirth, they will never gain accomplishment. So because one has a vow of celibacy when one is a monk or nun, it is not okay. It is not allowed to have these initiations because the practice prescribed would cause a transgression in their root vows. The practice would cause a transgression in their vow of celibacy. So by causing this transgression in their vow, this will cause a rebirth into the lower realms. It will not be a cause for practice or for enlightenment. It will be a cause for a rebirth into the lower realms. So I hope I'm saying this strong enough. Rinpoche was saying this very, very strongly and emphatically, that those who are observing pure moral conduct, monks and nuns, are not to engage in these practices of consort and so forth because of the misdeeds that are created by breaking a root vow.
Ngawasne karsugore ngone lama ge shansen kame ngone degro deba de nyaba odne digmares ane pemena mazamba shen onje odne digmares komba gogres ane gombirema gone ane gombi hamoyoro gombi hamole ane nyaba jobadne mabajene onlan digres ane lama ge ane karsugore sanze de jimbi mabajene sanwanda shiraji onlan digres ngone pemena mazamba shen onlan digmare shibitun res.
So here a further explanation is that if one is a monk or nun and wishes to have these initiation, it's not permitted for them to engage in the real, actual practice of consort because it would cause them to break the vow of celibacy when insertion took place. So because of this, it is not permitted. But one can use an imagined object of observation. A monk or nun can use an imagined Rinpoche said hlamo, so goddess. So one can use an imagined goddess as the object of observation or an imagined consort. And then this is permitted. Then actually taking these secret and wisdom initiations, using an imagined goddess after taking the imagined secret substances and so forth, is permitted because there is no actual transgression of the vow of celibacy in this case.
Ngone den pemela mazamba shoba ngone sanze tu nyaba ina twa goya ni khayores gombirema gone ane pemeda kaso nyaba shoba gon mebajene ane sanze nyoba mebajene onlan digres
Sanzi there.
Sanze sebe mar sebe pamani.
So the
Lama yung jimbi, sanze
Lama Tate.
Lama yung nyoba ju, sanze te song nya myoba jene. And the chunam
Imagine, right?
Oh,
Okay, so one can imagine that he or she has received the secret substances from the tantric Vajra master, and one can imagine that one can use imagination to do this actual consort practice and take this actual secret and wisdom initiation if he or she is an ordained person. So this imagined practice is permitted, but it is not permitted to use an actual physical consort and use the physical substances in an unimagined way for one who is ordained.
어제 다때는만 가서 주군이다 쳐봐 어디지 로로지 다 주군이다 조절이 되어와 주군이다 쳐봐다 예시 조진 소시바 로병원 근년주시 되니들라 녀바면서 어디지 로샤부지.
Number 67 says there is no fault if one who has received the preceptor initiation and has knowledge of suchness listens to or explains the tantras and performs the burnt offering rituals or makes offering of gifts and so forth.
되니들라 녀바면 예시도 조진수 하지 다는 하라 되는 바야버자 말베 예시지 조진이 된게 레몬부지야요 알았어 말베 바야버자다 어떤 그 도마자산다다 도저지야 되는 도 어떤 가서 벌레마셔서 그러베 하고 도저지야 도 도마자야 또 도마자 tantra what does it
Oh, and the burn, they throw the tormas. Okay.
what does it 예시지 조진수 하지 가서 쉐발랑 on comment tout gosan moguna mogudes ane tsugi karso gore jinsi dan tomajaru to on comment chason tugo maris sobenji on go tan sobenji on go tolas sobenji on go tantra initiation ba mari teacher initiation
Preceptor initiation.
tona teni rebi yuen den zang den be dena tada shebalan ba medosa Teni jo marbe, teni jo. Shi yun ten jo, lama de shi yun ten jo, nagi yun ten jo. Densona, ane ngage tomajaya jinsi pya tu nyeba yo mare ji.
So number 67 says there is no fault if one who has received the preceptor initiation, Vajra master initiation, and has knowledge of suchness, listens to or explains the tantras and performs burnt offering rituals or makes offering of gifts and so forth. So here it's okay for one to engage in fire pujas in order to engage in the practice of the throwing tormas into the fire, or throwing them various rituals that take place, tantric rituals. So these rituals are okay to engage in because there is no fault, there is no transgression. Here, then Yunten Ju, Yunten Ju.
Takasongaso haga lami yun ten sumba guson le dan lo chen ze den tan yue dan jumin ha dan ju shi teni ju se shi yun ten jo na ge yun ten jo gu ge song song kasan o de so ngalo ha ge yun ten du su chang de yue na ane on comment de on chao de ma tu ne de ge song de sa teni re la ne ba mes teni ju song shi yun ten jo na ge yun ten jo ta gan de ha ga lami senji chang de yue na ane on to de ma tu na ya to ma ja na baya baja to de ge chun yo ma re ji ta.
So if one has there is no fault if one has received the preceptor initiation and has knowledge of suchness and listens to or explains the tantras. Here this is referring to the inner and outer excellent qualities that the master must have, as previously explained. So the 10 inner qualities of a tantric preceptor and the 10 outer qualities, 10 inner and 10 outer qualities. So here there is no fault if one has these qualities in performing these rituals and so forth.
Jugun ye da shi ba tamal jugun anju ge ya jen pa che ya o de sul on kuma de shi la on to de ma to na ya ane ha ge lami yun den du chang de na de ge song ja ma de jugun ye da yen pa cheba dang, yen si dang, chue jin su, lubang wang ko nian ju shi, teni re la nian pa mes. Ju gu nian dang si, su su ki nian pa, le sen rwa, cheba pa shi ya rwa, ju gu nian dang cheba dang.
There is no fault in listening to. Is there a fault in the translation here? I think there is. Ju gun.
Ju gu nian dang si, ishan tang tra, pumon tang tra, ju di ji tu su kanda
All
kanda, lama le
tantras.
nian, su su nian, lama
Listening
shi.
to all tantras, right? Listening to all four Nye is listened to, right?
Listen.
So listening to all tantras.
Pa shi ya, ti cha ji ne, pa shi ya. Han. Ju gu nian dang cheba dang si.
Yeah, there's a fault in the translation. So, verse number 67, listening to all tantras, chepa dang.
Listen or explain to the tantras.
There is no fault in listening to or explaining the tantras. If one who has received, I think it's okay from there, right? There is no fault in listening to or teaching the tantras if one has received the precept or initiation, has knowledge of suchness, and listens to or explains the tantras, and performs burnt offering rituals or makes offerings of gifts and so forth.
What the re? That the name, that land, so Zomberson, Nete Mamzebeji, Nete Mamzebeji, Dusu Chile Shetonwa, Shanchu Veji Sudone, Shanchu Lanshin, Dudu Shesa. That the name Adisha Saint Bear Mamze, Adisha Sagrota, on Adisha de London Somba Ins, London Susan Rogis and Dusana, and Homas of Shanchu Yajit, Bergil, Homas of Shanchu again, and then I'll London to Sonrogis and Lagundus, and then Kazu Adisha in London there. Dosu Chile, She Tonwa, Shanchu Yaji, Sudane, Shanchu Dudishasa. That Bear Mammas, the Kunshida High Kibaris, then the Swaji Tantra Dan, Tijan Dan, Time Dan, Nalenta Kibazu Kangaloge. Bojago Kunshen waters, or to Zulja Rujin and London Sumba in Saint. Nande Maman Zebeji, Dosu Chule, She Tonwa, Shanchu Veji Sudane, Shanchu London, Lanshin Dudishes, what?
I, the elder, Dipam Kara Shri, having seen it, explained in Sutra and other teachings, have made this concise explanation at the request of Shanchup Wo. So here, Shanchup Wo requested the great master Dipankara, Lord Atisha, to give this explanation. So here, Atisha is making a pronouncement that he has gathered all of the concise meanings contained in the sutras and tantras and the Indian commentaries and so forth, and the Buddhist pronouncements, and he has gathered all of this information and put them into a concise explanation at the request of Shanchup Wo. So here Atisha is stating that he has followed through with the request and has explained this in concordance with tradition.
What does our two large drama? Ruben Chenmo, Bear Mammas, Ishijins ever Zusos, Ishijins ever Zusos, Jirwa, or the Zubaris, Rwa. And Jagaji Kembo, Chenmo, Tenita, Shenji Lozawa, Giluji, Jujin, Jujin, Tenlapoba, Saramangala, Chunden, Shanjunwas. That the name Sanskrit Ketul London, the Perki to the Sujuversana, Loza Sodesana, and Loza Adisha Kurunres, or Loza Adisha, Jagaji Kembo, Chenmo Tenitans, Shenji Lozawa. Giludus, Lozawa translated Marba, or Kuning in Yandu, Perki to Juveris, Marba.
And Gewe Lodru, the cage.
Giludu, Lozawa, Giludu in Jerova. Adisha the Yandu Juba in Jerota.
Atisha Nyamdu, Konso Nyamdu, Lake Chesa.
Perki to Juveris.
Okay, so this concludes the lamp for the path to enlightenment by the Acharya Dipamkara Sri Jnana. It was translated, revised, and finalized by the eminent Indian abbot himself and by the great reviser, translator, and fully ordained monk Geshe Lodru. This teaching was written in the temple of Toling in Zhangzhung. So here this states that the great master, Lord Atisha himself, together with the translator Geshe Lodru, translated it, revised it, and brought it into the Tibetan language. So this was brought into the Tibetan language by a combination of the abbot himself, Lord Atisha, and Geshe Lodru. And where it was written is the temple of Toling in Zhangzhung. So here this is just an explanation of where it was composed, how it was composed, and how it was brought into Tibetan from the Sanskrit language.
So
I'm, for auspicious reasons, going to read a small amount of this, and then I will give you the transmission of the entire text.
Hindu Nan Dro Tuji Tse Chune Pema Gabo Dabo Shi Deshi Kunji Hadre Ji Mendu Desi Tu Ma Pong Jambe Shinda Chimo Ludu Tu Mensu Chule Kanle Jubi Lama Na Yun La Yang La So Yun La Chu Gi Bula Kubi Chu Ala So Tu Chu Gela Shari Leon Bisa Ji Chu Sai Chu Na Ni Shu Ji Do De Nga Ji Zu Jin Ma Me Ze Chu Adisha Hinen Du La So Chu Adisha Hinen Du Jayu Den La Jawa Ni Dan Chong Ba Jawa Ni Dan Je Ca Ji Jing Ha Jin Je Si Chu Ji Pong Ba Jayu Zeba Jin Jawa Ni Ba Pi Tinen Du Ri Tinen Jirong Si Bi La So La Nyang Tang Chen Do Chang Bi La So Chang Bi Nyang Ta Da La Ta Bi Lang Jin Dun Ze Jun Dun Ze Lama Deni Ji Kudin Lama Deni Ji Kudin Ten Se Te Bi Pulong Yo Dong Ha Yong Zu Lang Ji Lui Ji Du Dine La So Ji Du Dine Ngong Kudin Tang Su Manasawa Dong Bi Pijong La So Pijong Jong Shang Chu Lang Ji Zhema Yo Re Sha Shang Chu Lang Ji Zhema Yo Re Sha Shang Chu Lang Ji Zhema Yo Sha Tang Lang Zheng Ki Long Ca Jin Dong Ki Sma
That's
De
Tu Chena. Let this.
Sorry, okay.
Please. Tu
Abejo.
Rinpoche Long Dongare. Long Nangare.
Yabejo.
Shanchu Landungi Long Nangare. Shuronang.
Oh, 可是脑路要修饰呢。
Yabudu.
脑路要修。这个是修过嘛的。脑路被对吧修。我点点也不就是的，让这种龙卡都就是来送。
Rinpoche said it's very auspicious that you've arrived. They're from Nepal. They've arrived so they can get the transmission of this text.
我大就是nepal高上不种松是俺阿底下个让这种龙卡都就是来送是。
It's very good. I believe you're from Nepal. You've arrived at a very auspicious time because I'm about to give the transmission of the text by Atisha called The Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment. So right now is the conclusion of a year-long teaching that's been given. And right at this moment, I'm giving the transmission of the teaching that I've given for this entire year. So it's very good that you've come. So please listen to this transmission.
Chungdi dan chuju be jebu sondu she barasha tada tsani rase yu susu ewa dewash kanji tene kanda ki ku dewa zanta la ra ni tun do ni she ba tene jebu tamash sibi de la ja shu shin debe dim do da ni kanji ran tene jebu tene din she sha ran ju tu be dunga je kanji jen je dunga bu da se bara Gunun de Jibotene Chuyin no Sijin Tamba Shanju Chu Deba Jiba Tadala Lamana Jitembai Yada Tane Shi Barasha Zuson Tegula Su Dan Chu Den Dan Chu Ngon Shu Matu Dubu Ngobot Chunjubai Chubasha Kunsan Shule Sombayi Kunsan Shule Sombayi Chuba Nava Dunta Jang Shanchu Hibi Tato Bara Madu Bayi Senta Ki Kunju Sona Rati Jin Pomulanga Satsu Ne Tamajawa Shene Ne Tombu Choro Le Sonsha Tene Sejen Tanjela Shambi Sene Huanru Yu Nga Song Song De Jisu Tang Chibu Suji Dungen Yu Ndua Malu La Dede Dungen Jene Dungen Wa Dungen Jusenle Ndua Taba Deba Yi Dua Meba Tang Cha Yu Shang Jusenle Jiba Sha Te Tere Mebi Senta Ne Jibi Yu Den Kanyinba Tene Tumbo Geba Yi Ndule Shambi Rato Shi Ti Ndulu Ba Lama Le Nyi De Zubi Shang Jusen Jin Den Tame Ba Naba Sheba Shela Tene Jusen Do Te Te Yane Yang Do Jibara Sha Pejin Jishin Do Da Le Ti Senara Den Ba Kan Tse Tse Ji Song Zang Do Ndu Din Den Chewa Sha Shang Ju Sen Ji Sona Tala Kite Zu Che Na Nake Kane Kun Kan Te Tene Te Yu La Bara Kangi Shema Tang Kangi Shema Tang Ji Sang Ji Shin Na Me Kangi Re Shen Tak Kun Kan Te Ji Den Kun La Pyo Wai Kangi Tamo Sha Je Te Shang Chu Tene Sen Tu Na Choban Tene Che Bara Pa Tala Tane Ma Che Su Shang Chu Me Bi Sen Ta Ji Ne Ne Beba Mabu Kun Do Be Sha Shin Tene Nene Jawa Shin Do Tang De Shin Do Tang Dun Ji Ji Ki Shi Bi Laba Yong Su Sung Ju Sen Dan Yin Dong Wa Ma Du Ba Yang Da Men Ba Bi Wan Ju Ma Yin Zu Bi Shang Chu Zu Bi Shang Chu La Su Men Ba Bin Du Bi Di Shen Bi Bi De Ne Nga Ba Lang Su Su Taba Ri Dun Ji Ta Tu Tung Shen Den Ba La Shang Chu Sen Bi Den Ba Dong Ba Yi Ge Wa Yu Ji Shen Du Min Su Su Taba Ri Dun Ji Di Shen Shi Bi Shi Ba La Cang Shu Bi Ne Chun De Gung Long Dong Ba Ta Tu Ji Shang Chu Sen Bi Sa Ta Ki Su Tin Le Song Chu Ga Yi Yang Da Chen Yi Den Ba Yi Lama San Le Dong Ba Lang Dong Bi Chu Ga La Du Bi Chu Ga La Su Du Bi Chu Ga Lang Le Tang Da Ni Kan Ji Dong La Ne Dong Ba Bo Zhen Qi Ji Den Lama San Bo Shi Ba De Lam Be Be De Da Yi Ke De Lama Ma Nian Na De Le Xin Dong Ne Ba Chu Ga Yang Da Shi Ba Sha De La Hun Zi Jiang Be An Ba Ran Zi Chu Ba Jia Da Sheng Ju Tu Ji Ba Jiang Be Jin De Sang Ji Xin Jian Jin Du Le Shi Ba De Le De Xin Shi De Xin De Ne Ra Se De Ngo Ma Na Ji Xiang A Zubi Shang Chu Sen Ji Nen Du Wa Tang Ji Zhun Du Nyo Te Da Kwa Le Zhu Lo Ne Sen Chu Da Ni Dang San Na Dan Ta Du Ni Ten Ne Song Te Shang Chu Tu Ji Ba Dang Ma Ya Wo Chang Ba Xu Ba Jie Sha Xin Di Dang De Ba Pong Wa Sha Cu Jin Dong Ba La Gai La Sang Ji Ji Su La Ba Sha Da Ni Cu Ji Ne Shang Chu Tu Ba Ma Zhi Xin Sijin Ji Ki Ju Ne Shimi Ma Da Ne Ba Ra Sha La Su Cang Cai Me Sang Ji Ma Chep Xin Da Na Ba Shang Wa Sha Mi Ne Song Xie Ba Dang Shu Chu Ta Tu Na Ba Ra Da Ki Lu Dang A Ki Le Tang Ji Tu Ne Ta Ba Ra Shi Yu Ji Lu Da Ji Me Ki Le Ma Zhao Rang Ki Lu Nga Yi Ji Na Da Jo Jo Bi Sen Ji Da Ni Dong Den Ba Cu Jin La Ba Song La Le Lam Cu Jin La Ba Song Ji Ku Shi Song La Song La Ku Chen Ju De Na Da Zu Sang Ju La So Shang Sen Bi Dong Da Ne Be Ba Ra Shi Bi Shang Ju Zu Ba Ra Zu Shang Ju Cu Ne Yong Su Zu Ba Sho Na Yi Shi Na Xin Ji Cu Ne Yong Su Zu Ba Yi Ju Ne Sang Ji Tang Ji Ngo Ji Ji Ba Yin Du Ji Dan Da Shu Ma Ji Bi Shan Ne Ka La Pa Men De Xin Ngo Ji Da Zhi Sen Jian Den Ji Nu Ba Men Sen Jian Du Ji Nu Ba Men Ngo Shi Den Bi Yin Sen Sho Na Da Ne Ka Yin De Ngo Shi Da Dang Zhe Ju La Jia Wa Jia Yang Yu Ma Yin Nyu Du Zu Bi Shang Ju Ra Du Yong Su Zu Ba De Ju Ba De Ne Bi Shi Ngo Shi Da Zhu Ba Ji Ju Le Lu Me Shi Ne Zhu Ba Ma Yin Ngo Shi Zhu Wa Men Ju Ro Yu De Shi De Shi Ne Zhu Bi Shi la so yang dang dun be wa sha shi ne la na nya be ra dun be de gong xie lun dong da da ge tenzin zhuo ba men jiu ro de xie le din su le le song bi la song bi la la le na song bi la la le me ba gong ron ji da le yin de ge la sha ba nen ju xie ne zhu ju na ng xi da jiang zhu ba ju pa re xie ra pa re xin ju dang zhe zhe ba si men jiu ro de xie le mu tang xie jia yi zhe ba ma le bong bi xie xie ra pa re xin ne jiu re da du ne a ta ji gong ba ra sha ta dang de xie ra dang xie ra zhe ta da gang xie qing xie song ba de xie le ni ga bu me xie ra la so xie ra gang dang ta gang xie ta zong dan bong bi ta dang xie ra ji yang da ye wa sa wa sha xie ra pa re xin xin bong bi xin bi pa re xin la su gi chu nang tang ji da jia wa na ji ta su xie da wang ge da ni ji gang xie xie ra na gong ba den de shang chu ni do shang ni do da me ji bu gong bi me pong bu gang dang ji qie na ji wa ma ba dun ji ra xin dong ni xie ba xie ra ji ne yong su xie yo ba ji wa ri me de me ba na ge mo du xin ni ba ni ga tan ju ro xie ni ga da jiang zhong wan我不让们记心拉苏心大你个来讲啊拉苏来讲们居民拉居民里面的些我你这让人让那居那他这大几当对面那这那我你呢没被让人没把你都呢拉苏东你对居这把当我们早说来我不那些让人呢都把你都主席吧刚些兄的马局但是呢马局那个主笔主他张些都公比现热多些对于去那马路让些当的没被他们把那公干营对你写了公把营写了进去那可是让人马东西写了的你这些吧那都没吧等我上那都来种些吧那吧都为但是这些嘛来都没把人家对吧注意喏那都嘛的全部都归家做东西都没等人啦呢吧那个人都没些当群的了加油些那吧没都上去那都这那的人家这人家没都办就罗达里巴大概呢，就能当机，这边别让人们把俺些别那不来，都没公巴下拉苏的你公司呢，人家这是都是热个拉苏都觉得。上些生没人看托你来出吧也现在技术来那我把上周老说吧之前技术都这讲的话也能想就用说吧对吧当小数据送别刚的上给的上学的那这是那边我过那个人说人当个周老说他这拉嘛当吧你把它下拉嘛你把就把也用做那边我过也的个那的但你我都准备给人就当不上去几千来这都别个别上些我过呢上把这边他们家搞土给的我过等真那长修搞土那那边搞了搞这吧老说搞吧这吧人就些搞土东吧咱家就是见搞土东吧等样的就见的旁吧也当咱能中就行等那个说个东西主办呢要么就跟年当这吧的也是就是就跟年当这吧的人生出人所些吧日本王国研究新的你这拉年吧没那在慢慢这边这都是去那些东西想去越级学的呢想去那件对下那说想去那件这么日本全部别慢慢这一些这话做价格这看不全部的你当选先就落早啊给落这越级学的那不我稍微门个那去的呢想说脱离做了看都这把我多少个东西吧，我拿拉准机，拉说想去哪就这么就说，想去什么加倍就能就把那下走了，就算就话等等地区给你到了个把这边下，他妈怎么想去就个就想去哪就这么这都是话下，从这那去这不送都写把它下，这不送都写把它下，哦呀。다 대구로 다 가서 연대 주주만 되지로 지다스 롱스는 가서 가서 대 파신 디바든 한 장들 자유로 동 어쩌지기스
So we're going to look real quickly at the Yunten Shijoma, which is the source of all my good. You'll find it at the beginning of our prayer books. It's a prayer that we read at every traditional meditation session.
Rani Suzu Loma Jimano Tondo, Shanju Senjun Jomba Shinju, Senza Jitsu Nazo. Da Kazanga Zoa Dele, Rani Suzu Loma Jijin, the Maju Wagunja, Ton and Road, Shanju Senjun Jomba Shinji Luz, Senji Kaduja Joba, Senji Roa. Da Denama Rabason Laya, the Nazo Lady Roa. Senjun Jomba Shinji Luz, da Denama. Senza Jejan, Tutin Nanson la combat mena Shanju Mondo, Leba Tone Jesse Dombala, Jumba Davi Loba Shinjulu, Senjin, Tutin Logoyat, what did they do? Senjin, Tutin Logoya. What the ancient Tonga Euros. Senza Jejan, Tutin Nanson Lasa. Oh, man, they have. None they do. Senza Jejan, Tutin Nanson Las, Shanju, Saint Lojan, Lojan Bayana, Shanju, Saint Sanje Dogumaris, Senza Jejan, Tutin Nanson Las, Senza Jejan, and then Tutin, Nisha Dombi Tutin, Sijan Dunjik Tutin, and then Gawachudi Tutin to Sul Malabayina, Sanje Dogumare, Tutin Lava Logures, Sanjan, Tutin Jilava, Dingazi Jilava, Shara Jilava, Son Logos, Kazan to Momishi Sarova, the ancient Tulkus Dateda. Senza Jejan, Tutin Nanson La.
The Tsuchim Sum, the Domba Sum Yomaribe.
Tutin Son, all Tutin Kangan de Jongerota.
Then the Chiran got the.
Dande.
I just want to make sure we're.
Deronde. Then Shanju Sen Lojamba. Dajan Yaba Jugun Senji, Jinde Mangadu Senji, Shanju Sambacharova. Shanju Senji Tadu. And the Labazon Logore, 6 Perpassion Logos, Nazo the Mamma.
So here in the, we find in the Source of All My Good, where it says, "Bless me to see clearly that the wish itself is not enough, for if I am not well trained in the 3 moralities, I cannot become a Buddha. Grant me then a fierce resolve to master the Bodhisattva vows." So here, we see the section where it speaks of the generation of the mind that aspires to enlightenment and what one does once one achieves the state. So this is the section where we've entered the Mahayana, or the great vehicle, because we're speaking of the mind that aspires to enlightenment. So the Bodhisattva must practice the 3 higher trainings, and realize the mind that aspires to enlightenment based on a practice of the 7-point cause and effect for achieving bodhicitta, and practicing equalizing and exchanging self with others. So here in the Source of All My Good is the section where we've arrived at the great vehicle teachings. So here it speaks of the vows and the 3 moralities. In Tsuchim Sum, Lapa Sum.
Tutin Sudero, Nisha Dombi Tutin. Nisha Dombi Tutin, Tabeje, Nisha Dombi Tutin, the Sudago Domba Kanga Yogorota, Nisha Dombi Tutin. Nisha Dombi Tutu, Randon Rajins in Kaya, Shanju Sempu, Rajins in Kaya, Sub Church in River. And the Sudago Domba, Anna Domba Kangalo, then do the Jeroda.
Tambo.
Shansang Domba Kanga, then do the
Nishu Dombi Tsuchim. Nipa.
Nisha Dombi Tutin, Sentient Tutin. And this is a perpassion to Sumarbe. Or the Sentient Tutin, Sentient Yatabalo Rubuja at the Yore.
Sentient Dunji Suchin. Sumba.
Nisha Dombi Tutin, Sentient Tutin, then Jikare.
Nishu Dumbi Suchim, Sentient Dumbi Suchin. The object.
Jikare, Suchin from Jikare.
Nipa.
Nisha Dombi Tutin.
Sentient.
Sentient Tutin. And then goes out.
Ngo, the Chu. What is this? We just did this. Neshu Dumbi Tsuchim Senchen. Gemma Ngatsulag.
Or the So
there are 3 vows. So here I was asking Rinpoche about the 3 moralities here, and there are 3 bodhisattva moralities that are specific to the bodhisattva. One being referring to vows, one referring to the vows, because if one is utilizing the vows, then this is abandonment of the self-cherishing attitude. Utilizing the vows for abandonment of self-cherishing attitude, and the vows here refer to individual liberation vows, bodhisattva, etc. And then the second is the ethics using all sentient beings as all sentient beings' aims. So the ethics which understands or strives to fulfill all sentient beings' needs or aims. So this refers to helping sentient beings and so forth. And the third one we don't have right now and we'll get in the future. The third kind of morality relative to the Bodhisattva.
Don't be tsutin. Don't be tsutin. Don't be tsutin. Nishe don't be tsutin. Sensient don't be tsutin marbe.
Don't be tsutin domba.
Domba de mendwa.
Then
Terba nishe.
Nishu don't be tsutin kak nge tsampa kakare. Don't be tsutin the gelong dan getsu susutapa.
Peji what the mendwa. Tak na de chi de aboron tenga modus.
Yeah, so there's one that isn't clear that we'll get in the future.
Tak na de dana le sis verbajin de bajin choto kan odin zudu saris.
So the 6 perfections, or we can also say the 10 perfections, are contained here.
Oda senza jeja tsudin na song la gongba mena sha jo mon ro ba le ba ton ne je se dong ba la zhen ba da bi lo ba xin ji lo xie de tsudin lao gu res tsudin song a zang je sang je tu ma gar gu gu res na dong ni le me bi ane xin ne gu gu res la tong gu dong ni le me ba la tong gu gu res lo bi yu la yin wa xie je jin yang da dong la tsudin xue ba ye xin ne la tong song de yi na ne de ju la ji ba dong ni le me bi xin ne de la tong gu gu res yo song dang ane ni ma re o de So
here it says, bless me to see clearly that the wish itself is not enough, for if I am not well trained in the 3 moralities, these are the 3 bodhisattva moralities, I cannot become a Buddha, and this is a fully enlightened Buddha. Grant me then a fierce resolve to master the bodhisattva vows. In order for one to become a fully enlightened Buddha, he or she needs to gain the calm abiding, a union of calm abiding and special insight, which utilizes as its object of observation emptiness. Here it says, grant that I may quickly gain the path where quietude and insight join together, one which quiets my mind from being distracted to wrong objects, the other which analyzes the perfect meaning in the correct way. So it's necessary to not have this mind that aspires to enlightenment, but it's necessary to also have as one's object of observation emptiness, and to gain the insights of the union of special insight and calm abiding.
So
if one studies the perfection vehicle very well, then he or she can then practice the tantric vehicle.
So then,
once one has practiced the perfection vehicle, then he or she can move to the tantric vehicle. So here it says, grant that once I've practiced well the path shared and become a vessel that is worthy, I enter with perfect ease the way of the diamond, highest of all ways, holy inside for the fortunate and good. Here, paths shared refer to the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity, teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity, teachings for beings of great capacity, and perfection vehicle teachings that are in common with the tantric vehicle teachings. So here, once one has practiced these preliminary teachings, then he or she becomes a vessel that is worthy and can enter the tantric vehicle.
Anne dansi do domba de yabu song gores tsu yabu song ba yina chudon tomo ngodu du yong gores chudon tomo ngodu yong bala dansi domba anne lebo ma so na anne tsu chema ji yong ha kale ka gores de ngodu na ni dubi je na da dansi domba song bala chema me be ngaba nyu je na so don du du song a shin ji lo so den sa de ha ga dansi domba yabu song gores song sa de
peke ga da go
de ngodu na ni dubi je na da dansi domba on to ne anne ha ga dansi domba du so So
bless me to know with genuine certainty that when I've entered thus, the cause that gives me both the high attainments is to keep my pledges and my vows most pure. Grant me then to always keep them, even if it costs my life.
Judy Jiro, Shaju, Nanju, then Judy Judy Nibo Reniji, Judy Nibo, Judy Nibo the Jerinta Zurini dress, Judy Nibo, Judy Je, they none and a Casori, Jerin Zurini, Judy Comalama de Manoa, Renise, Chibi, but a Zuri,
Okay.
Nana Chijin Rangi. Tone Zumba is, Jenny Zuring, Nenga to Domulujon in the Abshe Wars, Shane the Yanaji Wars, Nana Jin, Tone Zumba ye, Tuy no Chulumeo, Tambi Sojin Dubashinjilos, then Twins Dabana Yedan Onshu, Pana Gigi and the Jin Gigi Onshu, and then Gigi get in the Dachis of Marbe, Daji de, Shukil Tuni, and Yimujol Tuni, Tunje.
Okay. Bless me next to realize as well as I can the crucial points of both the steps. Here, both the steps refers to the generation stage and the completion stage of the yogic tantras. So both the steps, the essence of the secret ways. And Rinpoche said, so once one has ascertained the meaning of the crucial points and has ascertained them and then realized them, then one needs to engage in a practice. So once one hears the teachings and that the holy ones have spoken, so the meaning of the teaching is the meaning that the holy ones have spoken, and then once one, for instance, if we're referring to Yamantaka, one first attends the Yamantaka initiation and then engages in the self-generation practice. Self-generation practice can be done twice in the morning and then twice at night. So so this is the meaning of the practice of the 4 times. Its meaning is to do the deity yoga self-generation practice twice in the morning and twice at night.
So
if you want to do Tara or Chenrezig, whatever deity you choose, this is fine. So this is the practice for those who might be in retreat.
So those
who might have to go to work, though, might be able to in the morning do 2 practices and in the nighttime do 2 practices, and that would be beneficial.
That the dedication marabet. The Lanzan to be senior to Tsujin to Truna Shatanji, Shatano, Patu Nyawa Shinjalo to Sus, the Lanzan to be Suzuki, Lamache, Tsujin to be Chug Tru, Tsujin to be Truna, Kosishabi Temba. Shatana Patu Nyawa Shinjalo to Sus, that is looking a lot Sushin Ramatan to the Suli in Jerwa.
So here it says, bless me, grant me that the spiritual friend who shows me this good road and all my true companions in this quest live long and fruitful lives. Bless and grant me that the rain of obstacles, things within me or outside me that could stop me now, stop and end forever. So here, referring to the spiritual friend, the teacher who shows this road, and true companions, the merit field and so forth, all of the beings in the merit field. Here it's a request for the long life of one's teachers and the holy beings and so forth. So here it's a dedication section where it's a request for a blessing to be able to have a spiritual friend and companions, and that they live long lives, fruitful lives, and that obstacles inside or outside me that could stop now end. So it's an aspiration for these things.
That and the Jawagun, the Lama, and Remain Chuji Belon, Satan Lodge, and Dujisham Comunius, Quamarbe, Jawagun, Ebi Bondrebe, Jawagun, the Yanda Lamatan, Suzuki, and the Yantabe Lamatan, Remain Chuji Belon, and the Satan Lodge, and then Rosune, Solangelan, Changaron of Zune, and the Sanji Kunju Tobashu.
In all my lives, may I never live apart from my perfect lamas. May I bask in the glory of the Dharma. May I fulfill perfectly every good quality of every level and path, and reach then quickly the place where I become myself, the one who holds the diamond. So may I never be separated from a perfect lama. May I always have a lama, and may I always have the Dharma may I always be exposed or have the Dharma in my life. May I fulfill every good quality of every level and path, paths referring to the 5 paths perhaps, the path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, path of meditation, path of no more learning, or the paths of the 10 Bodhisattva grounds. So once, here it says, may I fulfill perfectly every good quality of every level and path, all of the good qualities of the 5 paths and the 10 paths. Once I have fulfilled all of those, may I become a Buddha. So here, the place where I become myself, one who holds the diamond, refers to Buddhahood.
What the London that Jeton Jibitan Mugi Reba Muguaris, that Jeremiah London Reba Chod Lari Chimburis, then the London Deans, Lari Duneris, Maduna Juma, walking over the.
So this, here there are many different commentaries on the lamp for the path to enlightenment, this being one of them. But then there is a very vast commentary called the Great Treatise on the Stages of the Path to Enlightenment by Lama Tsongkhapa, written as a commentary to this lamp for the path to enlightenment. Then there's a medium treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment. And then there's a small treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment. Then there are the 3 principal paths, and then this very condensed aspiration of the stages of the path called the source of all my good, or more literally translated, the foundation of all good qualities.
What the Nazu Juma Dangazu Chusul Tentunguaris, what the Kalea Kalasan down the London, then the Katenduas?
So here at the center, we do the prayer of the source of all my good regularly. So if we can implement the meaning if we can think about the meaning of the lamp for the path to enlightenment, we can then combine it with the source of all my good and elucidate the source of all my good, or foundation of all good qualities, by the explanation that we've ascertained of the lamp for the path to enlightenment.
What that Tangazo, what the London Jing, she the Shigmared Barber Gishi, Churuzanye, and also what the Sona Sayoris, Huaya Chigurs, Hua, and then sentient the one that you do that they were doing it to Judon Java, doing maybe, and then doing maybe the one that Mandewala Subi. And what the Malabata was, and Zambalin, Matruta, Magada, or the Mebala Suba, or the Malabata was.
So it's very important that we make aspirations. I have given an explanation, whether or not I understand it very well, uncertain. But you have listened to this teaching, and we have accumulated a large amount of merit by attending and teaching. So please make great aspirational prayers. Make aspirational prayers so that sentient beings may be relieved of suffering, so that sentient beings may abide in happiness, so that the world is free from war and illness and all natural disasters. So try to make very firm, resolute dedications that will allow sentient beings to be brought to a place beyond suffering.
What the Nazo Tim Holland in Jamaica by yourself, what the Holland and the Shidag Malong Jaburis, this Haji Malong or what and do you orders?
So the prayer that we do, called the Samantra Bhadra dedication, that we use as a dedication here, is called the King of Prayers, pronounced by the Buddha as the King of Prayers because of its containment. So this is a very strong dedication that we do. So the Jinkor Tambo Dene. The Jinkor Tambo.
What the Taman also the Malan do. Okay.
So we will do then the concluding dedications as found in the prayer book at the end in the separated section. You'll find it, and it says concluding mandal offering and dedication prayer. And we will do these all in the Tibetan transliteration to the end of the book, which contains the long life prayers for our 3 lamas.
I read somewhere at the conclusion of a great teaching like this, is there something special prayer we make to ask the Lama to remain
Then Lama kon anja gusum the sanction at Sarna, then Lama tse rimbi kandun ke chempure.
What the Jawaram Kushabit, Jawaram Champion, Chibatamato Kushabit, Holland Jaguars.
So yes, it is, here we have the long life prayer of Dalai Lama in here and so forth. So it's very important to request the lamas to stay. And just translator's note, in here we do that at the end of the teachings. That's the reason for the long life prayer for Dalai Lama and Rinpoche and Geshe Lharampa is to request there to stay in the world to continue to teach us.
안 대제라 테메가 라마 참말로 고스샤베 데베 문화적
Please request all of these lamas of the lesser vehicle lineage and the great vehicle lineage to stay with us or abide.
오야 다 문화적
So please, let's make the aspirations. Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niratayami Nyambel Bawu Jita Chenpa Dong Gondu Zombo Deyan Dejin De Dida Kunji Jesu Daloji Gewa Dida Tanje Ratungo Duzum Shepe Jawa Tamjeji Ngowa Ganza Chutu Ngapande Dajen Gewe Tsawa De Kunjan Zambu Chushira Tu Ngowani Amri Rawe Gowe Shin Yamdi Bendon Dewa Malu Jung Wene Chenrezig Wanen Yanloi Jabeziden Bandun Lozun Zambo Junjen Namala Yun Rin Jamban Zimbenge Wishin Lunan Dumben Demban Zin Jimba In Zoanarin Shaden Yo Lo Nu Unye Shoma Mum Patse Gabe Gozum Dona Dan Juzin Dan Juzun Dukuzan Daruji Yejigon Moyori Shadenzo. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. It's been a great year. Really happy to have been able to translate this teaching every week. So, thank you for everybody for coming. And if folks want to come up to the end of the teachings, auspicious gesture, you don't have to necessarily bring anything. You can also receive a blessing. There's katas you can just take in the other room. for
Thank you
free.
so much for teaching. This is on
Yeah,
behalf
yeah,
of the
okay.
center,
Thank you.
okay?
Yeah, yeah. Rulisa